welcome to Megan's Minutes. Today I would like to chat with you about the sensitive periods. The sensitive periods is something that happens for children that are under the age of 6, and basically it means that they are going to have this intense attraction to activity that is going to help them develop whatever it is that they're working on. So Montessori actually took the term from another scientist that was studying caterpillars, and what the scientists found was that very young caterpillars would just naturally go to the very end of the branches of a tree because that's where all of the newest, youngest leaves were. And that was the only leaf that these young caterpillars could digest. So when they were very young, they would just naturally, intrinsically know to go to the end of the branch to find those young leaves. And then once their system was developed enough that they could eat any of the leaves, then that kind of intense attraction just went away. And then they would just eat whatever leaves. So it's just kind of this heightened awareness that internally we know, or we're not consciously aware of it, but it just happens when it's needed to aid something that we are going to be developing. So this definitely, you can see it very clearly with language, especially. I mean, the entire basically 0 to 6 first plane of development is language the whole time. So watching a baby just watch the lips of the adults that the baby's around. There's just so much that the child is doing internally and unconsciously that is part of their sensitive period for language. They are doing these things to help them. That's their aid in development. So especially for from till about the age of 4.5, the children are developing all of their senses. So we know that happens. It usually is kind of done by the age of 4.5. So, but for every child, it's going to be different. So it's very important that we're observing what the children are interested in and what they're kind of naturally drawn to, because we can really support that development by offering them activities that are aligned with it if we are paying attention. So for example, if a child is developing the sense of hearing, then you would notice that they are noticing every sound, or maybe they're banging on things a lot, or they might notice the refrigerator kicking on or an airplane going overhead. They're going to have a heightened awareness to sound during this time. It's going to be a short period of time. It's a window of opportunity. So we're always watching, as the Montessori guide, we would be watching for these signs of a sensitive period kind of being at its heightened place. And at that time, we would offer things like the sound cylinders or the bells or any instrument kind of work. So that is something that I want to share with you, because as you are observing your child, you can see what kind of is what is the internal drive that is happening, and what can you add to the external environment to aid that internal interest. So, if your child is walking around and touching everything, then they're probably developing their sense of touch. So it would be a great time to do things like fabric boxes or the touch tablets with different grades of sandpaper. Give them lots of things to touch. If they are wanting to touch things, if they are noticing to every sound, give them a lot of things to listen to. If they're really into smells, give them a lot of things to smell. This is all happening, like I said, up until about the age of 4.5. So you're going to see your children kind of going through these waves of heightened awareness. And when you notice it, you really want to go out of your way to provide a lot of things in the environment that are going to support them, because these are the times when the children can really develop that foundation. It's kind of like learning a foreign language as an adult. It's not that it's impossible, you can do it. But it's hard. And so, but if you're learning as your mother tongue when you're a young child in the first plane of development, then it's effortless. You don't even have to try. It's just easy. It just absorbs and it's easy to take in. So that's what's happening for the children too. Right now, during their sensitive periods, it's effortless. They can just absorb it and it's very easy. So they can establish perfect pitch. They can, be able to carry colors with no problem. All of these kinds of things that are, kind of challenging for some of us adults if we didn't get that fulfilled during this early period of our lives. It's all possible. So we want to really like give them the greatest potential, help them meet their greatest potential. So just a little information about the sensitive periods, some things to look for. You can always reach out if you need ideas. If you're observing something and you're not sure how to support it, let me know. But in general, all of the sensorial activities especially are geared to exactly this. So if you're noticing any particular sense being heightened, you could go to look for activities for that sense. Language, like I said, is exploding the entire time of 0 to 6, so there's lots of ideas about language. And yeah, reach out if you have any questions, but that is just a little information about the sensitive periods.